We finished restoring your 1973 Sankyo Pachinko machine, and this quick start guide will show you how to set it up and play. We'll want to make sure your ball drain lever is in the correct position. I'm going to zoom in on the back, and right now it's in the incorrect position, and I can tell that because these levers here, see how they flip this way? That's to allow balls to drain out into the bucket at the bottom of the machine. So they're in the wrong position. You have two choices. One, you can pull this lever here, and then the arms will reset, and I can let go. Now they're in the locked position. Or there's this wire going back here behind it. You could just grab the wire, and that wire is attached to that part, and will push it as well. Now the number one problem with Pachinko machines is the one ball seesaw in the wrong position. When it's in the wrong position, your machine won't pay out jackpots and balls will back up, and that can cause problems. So let's zoom in here. And behind this glass window, you might be able to see a ball right there. There's also another one right behind this metal bracket here. So that's a clear piece of plastic, has two balls in it, it pivots up and down. And right now it's in the down position, and it won't pay out jackpots. So what you have to do is you have to reset it into the correct position, and the way you do that is with this little plunger here underneath. So it's got a little spring on it, and we're just going to push up on that plunger, and now that seesaw is reset. Pachinko machines don't need electricity to play, but there are a few light bulbs, and you want them to work, you'll need to hook them up to a power source. In this case, customer wanted it to work both off a 9-volt battery, which I have here. You just basically take this, snap that onto the top of the battery, or you can have it work where it plugs into the wall. In this case, I've just got a wall plug transformer, and I've connected a terminal here, and if you want to plug this in the wall, you're going to snap this into this other snap, and you'll never want to snap this one into the battery, because then the battery will get hot and maybe explode. So for now, we're just going to connect this to the battery, and this light came on. Now this light is on because there aren't enough balls in the top supply tray and back. So as soon as I were to add balls, the lever would come down and turn off that light. Let's take a look at the front. Okay, you can see the light on from the front. So when this lens comes on, it means you're out of balls. There's also a light back in here. When this light comes on, that's when you get a jackpot, and it'll just come on and flash. There's also a little window up here, and you can see through that window, and if there were balls there, it would be full, and you can see all the Pachinko balls. So if you ever look through the window and you don't see balls, it's time to refill the back supply tray. One way to tell that you need to fill the supply tray is when the supply tray is empty, it will activate a lever that will shut off the flow of balls from your play tray into the ball loading assembly. You see that metal sliding back and forth? So right now balls can flow through, and when that drops back, then it blocks the flow. Go ahead and load some balls into the play tray. Now we'll load balls into the supply tray, and when we do, they'll come down, roll down this track, make this turn, and they'll enter into the jackpot assembly, and they'll stop here. Take your bucket and place it in the back so that it'll catch balls coming out of here and out of here. To play Pachinko, what you'll want to do is take your hand, and this is called your finger rest bar, so you can rest your finger against it, and then take your thumb, and you'll want to pull down on your thumb, and you'll pull down the flipper, pull it all the way down, and then quickly let go, and when you do, it'll launch the ball onto the play field. Now if you pull the whole flipper down and hold it down with your hand and then slowly lift up, there's not enough power to shoot the ball in the play field, so you have to quickly let go. When you shoot a ball, it will launch up the track back here, and you'll start going up this track. If you don't shoot it hard enough, it'll roll back down the track, and it'll come into your receiving tray right here. And next to the receiving tray, there's your ashtray. So as a shot normally goes up this track, it'll make the turn, go all the way around, and then it'll hit that little green part. This little bumper here, and then it'll bounce off that back onto the playfield. There you can see the balls through that window. The ball will bounce off the pins, and it may hit these spinners, and when it does, the balls will deflect and they'll go down, and if the ball comes all the way here and exits through this hole, it'll drop into the bucket and back. The object of the game is to get it to go into one of these fixed pockets here. or one of these tulips, or into the main attraction here. And if you get the ball to go in a tulip when it's open, it'll then close, and if it's closed and the ball goes in, it'll open. When you do get a ball in the jackpot, one of these pockets, it'll pay out a jackpot, so you'll receive balls in the play tray up front, and then you'll hear a bell, and that bell is the balls falling from the jackpot assembly, which is right here. They fall down, hit a bell, and then go to your play tray, and then also this light will flash. So let's go ahead and play Pachinko. Okay, we got two jackpots, one in here, and then one went in here. You saw the light flash twice, heard the bells, and we got the balls. Let's take a look at how the jackpot works from behind. First, we're going to open the playfield door. There is a little loop here, and if I lift up on this, then this door pops open so I can drop a ball in the jackpot and you can see what's happening back here. When you want to close the door, you want to take both hands, and you might have to lift up on the door a little bit and get it to snap in place. Okay, when you get a ball in one of the pockets, it's going to fall down and roll down this track here, and it's going to enter into the seesaw. When it does, the seesaw will pivot, and then that ball will roll down this track and then work its way down, and it will land on the metal shovel right here. See this metal here? It goes all the way back the other side. So as it lands on that shovel will pivot down, and this shovel is all the way attached to this metal arm here. So that will pivot, and then there's that vertical rod. It'll push up that rod, and as it pushes up that rod, see all that linkage there with the green part? All that linkage will pivot, and that pivot is, those parts are attached to that white arm leading towards the jackpot assembly. When those move, any balls that are in here will drop down, and when they drop down, they first hit a metal plate right behind that Sankyo sign, and I'll fall down, hit that little white arm, the horizontal white arm behind the S, and then the balls will roll down and hit the bell, and that's the bell you normally hear when you get a jackpot. Hits the bell, and then it goes into your front play tray. Now when you get a whole bunch of jackpots, they back up here, and then the balls, instead of hitting that bell, they'll come this way and they'll drop down and hit this bell. And when they do, they'll go straight down and fall into that green area, and that rolls to your receiving tray out front. Now let's say that area starts to back up. Really doesn't happen in home use, but I want to show this part. If you get too many balls in the machine, they didn't want it to back up and cause damage. So eventually, if there's enough balls starting to fill back up here, they'll come down this side here and they'll hit a lever. And when they hit that lever, you can see it pivots this part. What it does is it pushes this piece of plastic out of the way. So now when I pull down on the flipper to shoot, I had a ball in the shooter lane, so that one shot, but now no more will shoot until I empty out the balls out of that tray. Watch a few jackpots. And there you saw some of the balls hit this bell. Our tray full. We may need to empty the balls out of here so we can refill the supply tray in the back. And the way you do that, there's this little plastic here. You'll push this over to the left, and when you do, the balls should flow from here down to your receiving tray, and you can scoop them into a bucket and fill up the back. Sometimes the weight of the balls will cause them to get stuck and they won't roll, and you just have to loosen them up with your finger. You might have to pull down the flipper a little bit at the same time. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So they started, they got stuck, and then they started to get on their own. Okay, well that completes your quick start guide. We sure hope you enjoy your machine.